With the 7th pick in the 2024 WNBA draft,
With the 7th pick in the 2024 WNBA draft, the Chicago Sky select Angel Reese from LSU. Here it is, Angel Reese. When Reese began showcasing the multifaceted dimensions of her talent, daring to transcend the boundaries of her role as a basketball player, she had no idea she was stepping into a storm that could reshape her career. Now, as she faces the weight of one of the most contentious suspensions in WNBA history, the stakes couldn't be higher. The clock sat at 0 as Reese enters the scene in a world where her fierce passion on the court meets the unforgiving scrutiny of the spotlight. Only time will reveal what the future holds for her. Reese plays with incredible intensity, challenging traditional views of women in sports. At this moment, she finds herself at the center of significant controversy, stirring considerable excitement across the WNBA and drawing the focus of fans and commentators far and wide. Let's take another look. Reese made a daring and surprising choice when the league suspended her indefinitely, potentially for life. The looming question on everyone's mind is why this has happened. This lifetime suspension has created a stir throughout the sports community, leading to an explosion of questions and theories about the reasons behind the situation. Reese, once honored as a trailblazer and an inspiration for young athletes, especially girls who looked up to her for shattering obstacles in sports, now finds herself at the center of heated discussion. People are debating whether the punishment she faces is overly severe or a justified reaction to her continual breaches of rules and perceived disregard for both the game and her teammates. What incidents caused such a drastic measure against her, and what does this say about how the WNBA expects its players to behave? Stay with us as we delve into this complex and intriguing story. If you find this as fascinating as we do, please like, share your opinions in the comments, and be sure to subscribe to keep up with all the latest updates in women's basketball. To truly grasp the weight of this situation, we must reflect on the events that possibly led to this decision. One incident that caused the suspension wasn't a single event, but rather the buildup of different actions that showed a player wrestling with the very essence of sportsmanship. Reese's passionate nature and fierce competitiveness have always set her apart, yet the WNBA has repeatedly highlighted the importance of respect and integrity as core values. Understanding this conflict between her intensity and the league's principles is crucial. When Reese began to cross certain boundaries both on and off the court, it became evident that the league had to take action. Over time, the incidents started to add up, from sideline disputes and inappropriate gestures directed at opponents to questionable conduct during media engagements. Reese's actions began to attract negative attention. While some fans viewed these behaviors as a sign of her fierce dedication, others interpreted them as a lack of maturity. Regardless of public perception, Reese's conduct increasingly frustrated WNBA officials, indicating that changes were on the horizon. Her behavior amplified the situation, especially given the public nature of her actions. Social media posts and viral clips of Reese's controversial moments circulated widely, intensifying scrutiny from fans and critics alike. The WNBA, known for its advocacy of women's empowerment and positive promotion of the sport, felt a strong need to respond. Her behavior had become too prominent to ignore, paving the way for what might be one of the most consequential decisions in WNBA history. Reese hoped that people understood she wasn't trying to be difficult, but was simply being herself. "They're not supposed to be nice to me or lay down because I'm Angel Reese or because I'm a rookie," she expressed, acknowledging the mixed reactions to her stance. When the WNBA announced Reese's lifetime suspension, it triggered strong reactions from many quarters. A lifetime ban is quite uncommon in professional sports, particularly for a young and gifted player. However, this decision signaled the league's commitment to behavior standards and respect for the game. Leagues like the NBA and WNBA prioritize player conduct just as much as player performance. Reese's situation has highlighted this issue more than ever before. The WNBA's statement on her suspension underscored the importance of maintaining core values essential to the league's integrity, referencing a pattern of disrespect and an inability to meet professionalism standards. As a member of the Chicago Sky, the national title winner at LSU, Reese's behavior became a focal point. She spoke to the media after the game against Caitlin Clark, where many observers saw the league using Reese's case as a cautionary tale for other players. This ignited a debate over whether the league's response was justified or perhaps too severe, especially considering the early stage of Reese's career. The suspension has certainly raised questions and left some wondering if there was more beneath the surface. Is this genuinely about preserving the league's image, or is Reese being unfairly targeted for being outspoken and unique? The jury is still out on this matter, but what is evident is that the league felt it necessary to take a strong stance. Reese's actions may have crossed a threshold with lasting consequences. To truly understand how Reese arrived at this significant point in her life, we must reflect on her incredible journey. Born into a challenging environment, Reese had to fight tirelessly to ascend the ranks. Her journey to the WNBA was not simple. It involved many hurdles, sacrifices, and an unbreakable passion to prove her worth. She became well known for her fierce spirit, quickly making a name as a courageous player who never shied away from challenges, whether on the basketball court or in the struggles of life. I think my transition has been great. It hasn't been a super big surprise because Kim kind of prepared me for this moment, Reese mentioned, highlighting her preparedness. At LSU, practices were intense, and she felt ready for the demands of the WNBA. However, her intense spirit brought unexpected challenges. As her fame grew, so did the pressure to perform at her best, not just in her game, but also in how she presented herself to the public. Both fans and critics began to closely watch everything she did, from her plays to her social media activities. The burden of these expectations can be incredibly heavy, and Reese's reactions often added more fuel to the fire, leading to criticism of her choices. In light of this intense environment, it's perhaps easy to see why Reese's attitude towards fame in the sport was sometimes seen as unusual. In professional sports, defying the norm and challenging the status quo carries inherent risks. Reese's daring methods gained admiration from her followers, but quickly transformed into a double-edged sword, bringing significant difficulties. I'm going to be the best teammate that I can be. I'm going to be the loudest on the bench. I'm going to be the most supportive that I can be, she stated, emphasizing her commitment. However, many wondered if she was merely a victim of the spotlight or if her own choices played a part in her unfortunate situation. In today's world, the impact of social media on the perception of athletes is profound and cannot be understated. Reese skillfully navigated platforms such as Instagram and Twitter, utilizing them to engage with her supporters and showcase her personality. However, what started as a way to build her brand sometimes backfired. The more she shared her life and opinions, the more vulnerable she became to public judgment and controversy. I don't really get to stand up for myself. I have great teammates, a great support system, my hometown, my family that stands up for me, Reese explained, highlighting the challenges of managing her public image. Reese often posted content that was bold, unapologetic, and occasionally provocative. For her fans, this was part of her appeal. They saw her as authentic and relatable. However, for the WNBA and its critics, her online presence seemed to overshadow her basketball achievements, giving the impression that she was more focused on fame than her performance on the court. With each update, the dynamics between Reese, the league, and her fan base grew more intricate. Social media has been both a boon and a burden for numerous sports figures, and for Reese, it may have swung the balance against her. Her online expressions and interactions nurtured a bad girl image, which, while amusing to some,